welcome back to Every Disney Movie Ever. My name is Jess and I'm watching Every Disney Movie Ever. Today I'm going to talk about Brother Bear 2. Brother Bear 2 is a 2006 direct-to-video release about Kenai and Nita who reignite their childhood friendship that could turn into something more. It is directed by Ben Gluck, animation by Michael Badman, Noel, Cleary, Lianne, Hughes, Adam Murphy, Andrew Collins, and Pieter Lommerse, editing by Nick Kenway and Anthony F. Rocco, music by Matthew Gerard, Dave Metzger, and Robbie Neville. And it's written by Rich Burns. The film stars Patrick Dempsey as Kenai, Jeremy Suarez as Coda, Mandy Moore as Nita, Rick Moranis as Rut, and Dave Thomas as Took. Joaquin Phoenix was the original voice for Kenai, and then Jason Marsden was going to be his voice and was his voice in the trailer, but then Patrick Dempsey ultimately ended up being the voice of Kenai. Has a 50% on Rotten Tomatoes. Consensus reads, kids will love this, especially if they love the first one. Has a good message and some decent scenes. Standout shot for me, I think, is purely the screenshot itself, not necessarily the shot in the movie, is Nita right up against the river as she ran up to it and stopped. It was just a beautiful composition, especially in the picture, I feel like, or at least the tiny picture I saw at the bottom of the screen. But the film itself looks really good. I think it has the same spirit as the first one. I don't think it is as beautiful as the first one because it is direct-to-video, but it is a higher quality direct-to-video, much in the same as the Lilo and Stitch sequel, or, maybe not as good as Lion King 2's animation, but up there. Little Mermaid 2's animation was good, so it's in the same realm. It's not like the TV release sequel animation. I need to read you guys what I wrote for this because it's genuinely funny. It's not Phil, so it automatically sucks. I feel like it's kind of trash, is what I wrote. Any of the songs that were actually sung by people throughout this movie, not characters, but a narrator type person like Phil does. Phil, I'm friends with him, Phil Collins does, weren't as good. Didn't have the same vibe, just weren't bangers like Phil Collins always are. So they were fine. They were kind of trash. I could tell that this was going to be a love story from the opening because they showed lots of pairs all paired up, making little hearts with their bodies. So I was not on board from the beginning. I was like, ugh, no. But the movie sold me by the end, which was unexpected. Another unexpected thing. Nita's tribe knew that Kenai was a bear. I thought a part of the plot was going to be her finding out that Kenai was a bear, but she already knew he was a bear. So I kind of was happy to hear that. I thought maybe that was going to be a whole stupid, confusing side moment, but she already knew he was a bear, so I love that. And then I knew that she was probably going to be turned into a bear, but I did have a fear that they might try to turn Kenai back into a person, which would have pissed me off to no end, because the whole frickin' point of the first one is for him to be, permanently become the bear so he can raise and be with Coda. And I would have been so mad if they negated the entire freaking point of the first one. But no, they didn't. She turned into a bear and they became a little bear family. It was very cute. This took a turn and got me good. I did end up crying, which I was very much not expecting, especially at the beginning when I eye-rolled that it was going to be a love story. So they did a pretty decent job. They had many moments that reminded me of Lion King 2, which is probably why it got me. The moment with the raccoons afterward, when they finally get away or whatever, reminded me so much of the moment with the rhinos in Lion King 2. I had no idea Mandy Moore was an animated Disney release before Tangled. I had zero clue. Obviously, she was in Princess Diaries before this, and now she's in this, and then she's gonna be in Tangled. I'm shooketh. I had no clue that she was in this. And then Patrick Dempsey, also surprising. I had no idea he did this or A Fighting Choice before he was in Enchanted. So crazy to know that they both have done two Disney things before they get their big Disney thing, if that makes sense. Patrick, he was in A Fighting Choice, which, if you haven't seen that movie, so good. It was a television release way back, I think in the 80s, because it's before he did his 80s one that's pretty famous. What's the name of his 80s one? You Can't Buy Me Love? You Can't Buy Me Love? Right. it was around that time. He plays the kid with epilepsy. It's so good. That movie is so good. And then Mandy did, obviously, Princess Diaries. And then now they both do this, Brother Bear 2. And then Patrick goes on to do Enchanted, which is a huge one. And Mandy obviously becomes Rapunzel, which is a huge one. So crazy to me. I had no idea she was in this. Granted, I didn't know Patrick Dempsey was in it either, but I found that less surprising. I feel like I was really not expecting Mandy more. My favorite part is when she says, "But I can." It got me. That's the part that made me cry. I hate to say it. It's pretty cheesy, pretty like what you expect. But they did a pretty good job building their friendship history and building the relationship. So it got me pretty good. My least favorite part, the beginning with all the pears, or the scene where the two moose women are with one brother, and then because the other brother starts crying, they choose the other brother. Gross. I hated that whole side plot. It was icky. Recommend. Yeah, this was surprising. I thought for sure I was going to hate this, and that it would be bad, but this was surprising for me. I'd say absolutely give it a watch. It was cute. I mean, not as good as the first one, but it was good. And then watch again. If I was asked, I don't know if I would go out of my way. I don't know if I would go out of my way to watch Brother Bear, let alone Brother Bear 2. Brother Bear's not one I frequent. Well, maybe I should. It's pretty good. Specific moments. The I Love You 2 almost took me out. I think that's what actually really got my emotions going, and just the but I can just like tip me over the edge into crying. The I Love You 2 really was so touching, you know, because they couldn't communicate at that time, but they could. You know what I mean? It's just so good. There's a parent death because it's not Coda's mom, which we already knew and counted in the first one. It is Nita's mom they talk about, and she is dead. And then obviously I cried. This was surprising. I really thought I was going to hate it based on the setup in the beginning. And then I liked it pretty okay. It's not amazing, but I cried, which is always a win. I feel, well, maybe not, but 8 below, I'm looking at you. That's everything I have. My final rating is 5. I feel like I gotta do bears again, right? Like I just have to. 5 bears, or maybe moose this time? Maybe moose. 5 moose out of 10. Our total movie count is. Our parent death toll is. Our cry count is. Until next time. Nope. If you want to keep up with Movie I'm Watching When, follow me on Instagram and Twitter. You'll find out what movie I'm watching when. I put out videos every Monday and Friday and sometimes Wednesday. Join Patreon. Got a tier starting at just $1 where you get every video a week early and a coupon code for merch. And then tiers above that, you get daily trivia, weekly random videos live run free in my mind, monthly podcasts, monthly postcards, merch, everything. Go check it out. Buy merch. This is a patron exclusive. If you become a patron, you have access to this merch. But there's lots of other things that are available to everyone. Go check it out. Until next time, comment, like, subscribe, but I'm not in charge of your life. You are. So you do you, and don't be... I mean, there's no real villain, because the dude she was gonna marry didn't know that it was a human who was actually a bear. So, I don't know. Be a good person about it. That's all she wrote.